Attention, listeners. Do you ever find yourself struggling to decide what to watch on a Saturday night when you're in the mood for horror? Or perhaps you're trying to round out your own horror film education. In either case, I'm sure you'll be able to make some great discoveries in my 10 by 10 horror watch list, featuring a breakdown of the 10 favorite horror movies from 10 renowned horror directors. We did a deep dive of the favorite horror movies from directors including Guillermo del Toro, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, Quentin Tarantino, James Gunn, Rob Zombie, Martin Scorsese, and many, many more. Here you'll find a collection of each director's favorite horror movies, along with quotes about what they appreciated about the films, all in an easy-to-reference PDF that you can download absolutely free. Featuring a mix of well-worn classics and deep cuts, hopefully you'll discover some overlooked gems and look at old classics through new lenses. Download the 10 by 10 horror watch list for free by visiting nicktaylor.com/horror guide. That's nicktaylor.com/horror guide. Welcome to the Nick Taylor Horror Show. Pablo Parés is an Argentinian filmmaker who's worked on over 15 movies as director or producer. His films include I Am Toxic, Plaga Zombie, and Damonium, Soldier of the Underworld. His latest feature, Pussycake, is a rollicking good time. It's been called Josie and the Pussycats meets Evil Dead, and it delivers on that promise. The movie mixes equal parts Peter Jackson zombie insanity with creature effects and tons of blood, guts, and vomit along the way. The movie is very stimulating visually and punches way above its weight as a low-budget feature. You can stream Pussycake right now on Screambox. Pablo was a lot of fun to talk to. We got into his director origin story, the background on how he got Pussycake off the ground, and the infrastructure of filmmakers he's built that allows him to consistently make the movies he wants to make without any studio interference. Without further ado, please give it up for the mind behind Pussycake, Pablo Parés. Pablo Parés, great to see you. How are you?
Hi, fine, thanks.
Good. So, Pussycake is so much fun, and it's refreshing to see a movie that's just so unapologetically a good time for audiences. I feel like there haven't been a lot of movies like this recently. The only ones that come to mind are Psycho Goreman was a lot of fun. Willy's Wonderland was great. Deadstream, which is coming up with Shudder, looks like a lot of fun. But I feel like we're finally getting fun movies in horror again, and this one was super duper fun. So huge congratulations, first of all.
Thanks. When we do the movie, we think that this kind of stuff is coming. The more gore movies, more fun movies, because with the Witch and Hereditary, it was like a trend of this suspense, horror, slow pace movies. But it still didn't happen. We are still waiting for this to come. This, I don't know, more fun movies, more like the 80s ones.
Yeah, I feel like the 80s, that sensibility in the 80s when you had like Reanimator and you had Evil Dead and these just gore fest movies. I feel like people want them again.
Yeah. It's very fun. You watch these movies in the theater and the audience screams and laughed, and you can see it in the faces.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, with this movie, we tried to do something more subtle, because we used to do more extreme movies, more gore, more vomits. But we tried to do some soft, something more soft, so we can sell it. But I don't know. It's in our I don't know. It's our style. We can't help it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the movie delivered the gore, and it also had a lot of emotion in it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that happened here. There was so much going on. There was monsters. There was a lot of gore. There was vomit zombies, which I really liked seeing. Creature effects, punk rock. I mean, where did the idea for the movie come from?
Well, it was like a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And the idea came from we really like when the characters have nice costumes. Like
Okay.
we didn't like regular clothes in the characters. So if you have a rock band as the main characters, you have all the time nice clothes and nice characters on the screen. So this is the seed of the idea, to have these girls all the time, very, I don't know how to express it, with great costumes, because it's visual. I don't like the movies when the characters are like dressed like regular people.
Yeah.
And I also don't like all the human faces on the movie. I want more latex, more monsters, more. That's why we splat the girls with blood as soon as we can. So from the middle of the movie to the end, they are all with blood and with rare costumes, and to give like a visual thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Having costumes that feel cinematic and don't feel too real, because then they just kind of get boring. And it's like cinema is a language, right? And the characters through costume, convey certain things. And yeah, I mean the visuals of the movie are really, really cool. I mean, it feels very iconic, and it's a real established visual style that you have.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So what was I know this was on the festival circuit for a while. What was the audience reaction like?
Very good. Yeah. I do a lot. This is my 15 movie. I make a lot of things, a lot of movies. I start very young shooting in VHS. My first movie called Plaga Zombie was from 1997.
Wow.
So I make a lot of things, but this time it was different. When the movie finished, the audience came and said, thank you. It was so much fun. We really enjoy it. And in the other movies, not so much. You can feel when the audience like it, or they just say congratulations for the show.
Right.
So it was more than we expected. Very good, and is now going to Australia and to England, and keeps moving. The movie is everything thanks to the people of Raven Banner. The distributors are doing all this work.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So how did you get the movie off of the ground? I mean, how did you get it made once you had the idea and the script? How did you approach financing? How did the movie come together?
Well, when we had the idea like 10 years ago, we didn't have enough budget to do this movie. So we start other projects. One of them called Damonium. Damonium is now in YouTube. It's like a web series. And we make this series, like it took us like 5 years of work. And we have the luck to sell it to Netflix here in Argentina. And with that money, we do this movie. We are like a group of movie fans, movie lovers, and we all have works. I work in publicity and other stuff. And that's where the money came for my life. Mm-hmm. But every single movie pays the next one. We make one, we get the money, we make another one, we get the money, we make another one. It's like, I don't know, it's like a professional hobby.
Yeah.
It's like a hobby that we do like, I don't know, 25 years ago till this day. So this movie, we can do it with the money from the sale of Damonium, but we didn't have enough to pay all the crew. We only pay a few of them. Now with the sales of Pussycake, we pay all the crew left.
That's great. So it sounds like you have a very self-sufficient group of filmmakers. Yes, like it's a team.
Absolutely. This is like not not a co-production. We are only one production company. We are a group of friends. We have no like external opinions. We don't go to knock a door to ask money. It's just us. That's why we can do everything.
Yeah.
We can put a lot of vomits and we don't care. We made it for fun. So we do what we want. And we want to keep this creative control. Is what we like.
Yeah. And the fact that you fund the movies yourself allows you to have full creative control, which is a great place to be in. Yeah.
But today, if you are, you can do a movie with nothing, with a photo camera, with some nice lenses, a couple of friends, and that's it. The technology go very. I don't know. We have so much technology that you can edit it in your own house.
Yeah.
It's not so difficult. In Argentina, it's a very difficult country to have work. You have to be good in a lot of things. So I do the camera work and also do the editing and also do the poster and the credits, and we all the crew knows how to do a lot of things. But everyone, I think, today is getting good in a lot of things.
Yeah. So how did you and your team come together? Because I feel like it's a very good position to be in, to have a group of people. You're all like-minded. You want to make the same kind of movies. And then you sell one and then you fund the next one, but you're all doing it together. I mean, it's a real collective. I mean, how did you all come together? How did you build this team and infrastructure?
It was a very long process. I started doing short films with my friends in 1990 when I was like 11 years old. And in Pussycake, for example, there are a couple of guys of that original team, and we keep doing it, and we keep doing, and we when someone appears that likes our way of making stuff, he stays in the team. But an year passes, an year. It's a very long process, and we always in Argentina we show the movie for free. We didn't search for like a revenue here, so that generates that the people wants to be part of the team.
Yeah,
and we give a lot of freedom to the people, to the actresses. For example, a lot of the dialogue of the movies improvised by the actresses, and the action. We had a real script for make the movie, but we take a lot of liberty shooting the movie, so all of the crew can be part of this. We think the action scenes with the crew, all the deaths, all the special effects, we think it with the guys from special effects. I say to them, well, we have to kill this girl. What do you want to do? What effect do you want to do?
Yeah,
I give a lot of space to the crew, so you are not just a director against the world. It's like a small army.
Yeah,
of people showing their own art, their own ideas. It's a different way of thinking.
Yeah, I think that's really smart because especially on a low budget, if you're working with an effects company, they need to do more than you're paying them for usually, right? Especially on a low budget. But if you give them the opportunity, if you say, hey, what have you always wanted to do on camera? What do you want to do? What would make you excited? They're going to work harder and they're going to do better work and they're going to be happier. And it's very smart.
Yeah. We also, when we are editing the movie, we call them, we show them the movie in process. We ask for their opinions, and it's not a personal work of myself. It's like a group show.
Yeah. No, it's a great way to work. It's a great way to work. And I'm sure people love working with you because they keep coming back, year after year.
We really enjoy the process. it's fun to do this kind of movies.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like you were having so much fun. All the monsters, all the blood, all the vomit zombies. I loved the vomit looked really good. By the way,
Thanks.
I get really annoyed at movies that have bad vomit techniques. Usually, there's like only been a few movies other than The Exorcist to do vomit really well, like the Evil Dead remake and Problem Child 2. That's it. Usually,
bad taste.
Oh yeah, of course,
from Peter Jackson.
yeah, I know you're right about that. But usually, an actor will fill their mouth up with fake vomit and then spit it out, and we're supposed to believe that's vomit. There's no like projectile.
But it's short. It's just up.
Yeah, and that's not, nobody vomits like that. Like, come on, it's projectile. How did you guys do the vomit? Because there was a lot of it in this movie.
We use soy milk. It was like to have like a color. Here it's like a soy milk with flavors. So you can choose exactly the color you want. And the good thing about soy milk is if you use real milk, when the clothes gets dirty, then the milk goes bad and it smells a lot.
Yeah.
But soy milk doesn't. So, and we the same guys who do the portal at the beginning of the movie, and some of the effects, they make like a machine. It was like an air compressor.
Yep. With
tubes going inside the mouth and shoots the soy milk inside the mouth.
Wow.
The soy milk hits like a small cup inside the mouth, and that goes out again. You understand?
Yeah, so it goes in their mouth and then it goes
like hits and comes like a spray.
Okay.
Because we didn't want in the movies when you see that it's like only like, I don't know, when
it just
you can
goes
see
too
the effect.
Forward, yeah.
Exactly. We wanted like a real bomb.
Yeah, it like disperses in different directions.
Yeah. We used the Evil Dead from Fede Alvarez, the remake.
Yeah.
It was the reference, the aesthetic reference of the movie.
Oh, nice.
We showed this movie to the actresses and to the whole crew, and we say to them, we want to do this. Because Fede Alvarez, it's like from here, it's from Uruguay. It's a country, a friend of us.
Yeah. That movie was such a masterpiece. I loved it. I think it might be the best horror remake of all time.
It's great. It's fun.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it was mostly practical effects, which is why that movie feels so visceral and it hits so hard, is because they built everything. And he talked about making that. And like they covered this kitchen in blood, and after every take, they had to clean it up every single time. And he's like, nope, it's got to be practical. It's got to be practical. And it pays off because that movie is amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for the new one.
The best things about the movies are the real stuff.
Yeah,
there is something as the audience is like a voyeur, like as much real is better. We use CGI for for erasing the tube. Mm-hmm. We have to use CGI, but the vomit is real, and we only add a couple of a bit of vomit to cover some mistakes.
Yeah.
When you can see the tube, we have to cover it with fake vomit, but very small, very subtle things.
Yeah.
And we have a great guy who do the CGI in the movie, in the team, but we didn't want to rely a lot on fake stuff and CGI stuff.
Yeah.
We only do like a couple of shots of the eyes of the hunter, because it was the only way to put the camera so close to some strange eyes and don't see the contact lenses or the latex, the union between the skin and the prosthetic.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's the magic combination. Build as much as you can on set, practically, and then just dress it up with a little CGI.
Exactly. Like Terminator 2. It's Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, the first one, it was like the zenith for us of this art.
Yeah, it's all about that balance, man.
Yeah.
I heard you in a previous interview talking about how you wanted to film something that was bigger than the budget. And so when you're working with a low budget, what are some of the keys to making something that feels like it is bigger and has a higher production value? How were you able to do that on this movie? Because it doesn't feel that low budget.
You need a great DP, a great director of photography. This is very important because a great DP can make anything look better, look more expensive. We spend a lot of money in front of the camera, in the costumes, in the effects, and not so much behind the camera. Mm-hmm. It was like a not so big crew. We were like 12 people. We spend the money in the things you watch, you can see.
Yeah.
The movie is we do it with a photo camera with a Sony AS2. A photo camera with vintage lenses with mm-hmm. very old lenses, Pentax. And so we didn't expend like nothing in the camera department. All that money went to the costumes and to the effects. And I don't know, you have to think everything. The thing is, I start doing short films with my friends. I didn't learn from going to a film school. Mm-hmm. I like invent my own process. Later in life, I went to the film school and I learned some things like the direction of the characters, the eyes, the direction mm-hmm. of the eyes, axis. And a lot of work. The post-production took us like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of time, a lot of sitting here in this chair and work. This is not so good. Let's work it. I don't know. I think you have to, to cover the work of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the money to pay a lot of people. Yeah. You have to do it yourself.
Cool. So you've worked on over 20 movies, I think, either as a director or a producer?
A lot. Yes, but a lot. I think it is 16 or 17.
Oh, okay. Could we go back and talk about how you got your first movie made? Like, how did you get into filmmaking?
Well, we started shooting short films in VHS when the first VHS cameras came to Argentina at the end of the 80s. It was like a revolution here because prior to that, you only can shoot in Super 8 millimeters. Oh, wow. So it was very difficult. And we start shooting a new short film every weekend.
Wow.
New weekend, new short film. We made like, 60, 70 short films.
Wow.
And one day, a guy told us, if you make a short film that lasts more than 60 minutes, it's a feature.
Yeah.
And so for us, it was, whoa, we were very young. We had like 17. And so we started trying to do a long short film. And it was called, the first one is called Plaga Zombie, Zombie Plague. We shot it in VHS and it was released by Fangoria in US.
Oh, wow.
It was like a DVD release in 2004, I think. The first, then we do a sequel, the first and the two. And now the Severin Films, it's like an editor of Blu-ray, like very cult.
Yeah, I know Severin.
They will release the trilogy, the Plaga Zombie trilogy comes now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. And I don't know, we do it with the friends. We shoot a lot of weekends. The first movie take us like a year and a half. I don't know, we meet up in my house. We dress like the characters. We paint our faces as zombies. We shoot and we shoot and we shoot. And we didn't have information at that moment because there is no internet. Mm-hmm. We only read some things on Fangoria magazine and this TV program called Movie Magic. We learned watching that shows. So I don't know. It was like it's like a play for us.
Yeah, you had your own film school.
Yeah. We also do comics and theater plays, and I don't know. We really like art and video games and to express all the ways we can. It's just to have fun. My money came from other thing. I make commercials for toys, and in a production company here in Argentina, and we do this just for fun. Yeah, just as a hobby, just to I don't know to bother the world, just to put these things away.
That's awesome. But you're able to. It sounds like you're able to balance the day job with having a pretty consistent film career because you put out another movie 2 years ago, and like before that one, there was another one like 3 years before that. Like you're putting out a lot of movies, but you're able to balance that with a full-time career. It sounds like.
Yes, but directing commercials is not so time consuming because we do these toy commercials that they are all the same. Mm-hmm. The boys say whoa and show the toy and they are all the same. So we have with my boss like a couple of Zoom meetings. He showed me, okay, Pablo, we have to shoot this toy, blah blah blah. One day of shooting. And then there is an editor and the post-production other people do. So I have a lot of free time. I maybe work like 2-3 days in a month, and the rest of the time I can do these things.
That's great. Yeah. So find like a low time commitment, low responsibility job so you can do your movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do this kind of movies, it's very difficult to explain to a producer or to go to ask money. It's very difficult. This movie had a lot of vomits and a lot of blood. It's not easy to get money.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. No, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great system. Make a movie, sell it, use that money to fund the next one, and just keep going. And then you can just do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yes. And if we can't sell it, we still do it. We show it for free. We don't care. When the money comes, we use it to make bigger movies.
Yeah.
But if we don't have money, we still do it. My previous movie called Soy Tóxico, it was extreme low budget. It was very, very. It's like a post-apocalyptic movie. But we only have 4 zombies, and when we digitally replicate them, I don't know. Today, if you are a creative person, you can do anything.
Yeah.
I had to maintain this like retro style, like the movies looks like retro movies, like movies from the 80s, but because it's impossible to do like I don't know, so polished movies as the one from today.
Yeah. Yeah, those older movies have a grit, and they look messy, and it's a good aesthetic, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Soy Toxico, that was it looked like Mad Max. I mean, it didn't. I was so surprised that it was such a low budget. It's post-apocalyptic. You're doing world building. I mean, yeah, you got away with a lot. And was it mostly because you had a great CGI artist to help you?
Yes, we shoot like a couple of days in I don't know how, a mine, a soil mine.
Yeah.
A lot of 80s movies of this kind are shooted in this kind of places.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the days, 15 more days inside a factory, an abandoned factory. We didn't have time to make up the zombies, so we make like a full masks.
Smart.
Inspired by the movie Zombie from Lucio Fulci.
One of my favorite zombie movies. Top 3.
Well, this like dirt zombies, like very dry zombies.
Yeah.
We didn't have money to buy contact lenses. So we make the zombies don't even have eyes. They are so dry that the eyes like I don't know, closed
Smart.
forever, and they are like blind. And all the art and the art department is all trash.
Yeah.
I say to the girl, the main girl from the art department, the art director, I say, cover everything with dirt, so you can't see nothing. If you can see the quality of the fabric, you can see if it's a cheap costume, because if everything is covered in dust,
you can hide the budget.
Exactly. Creative ways.
Yeah.
In every single problem, you think a creative solution, and that's part of the fun. I don't know. We are in Argentina. Here is very difficult. Just to make a movie is like something special. We don't have like a Hollywood here.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what is the film industry like in Argentina? Are you in Buenos Aires?
Yes. Okay. But I'm like an hour to the capital city. Okay. I'm like in a small town. We shoot the Pussycake here in this town. The streets are here.
Oh, cool.
And we have like an industry. We have but it's all like the state financed by the government.
Okay.
And the last years, the Netflix and Disney and Amazon starts to put money to make stuff.
Okay.
But they don't like our stuff. They make these like clean movies with people talking, dramas. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't like us and I don't like them, so I do my stuff and fuck them.
That's it, man. It's the punk rock way of making movies. You gotta make the stuff you like. I read in a previous interview that some advice you had for filmmakers is to pick 10 movies and watch them over and over again.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what is the reasoning behind that advice? Why do you recommend people do that?
It's not a reason. It was like a reality for the people who grew up in the 80s here. We didn't have like cable yet. We only have like 5 TV channels and VHS. Mm-hmm. So the few movies you have in VHS, it's the only thing to watch.
Yeah.
So I watch, I don't know, Back to the Future like 100 times. Star Wars and Evil Dead and Bad Taste from Peter Jackson. I don't know. It's the only thing I had to watch.
Oh, okay.
So I finally I understand. I don't know. I know Back to the Future shot by shot. I don't know. It's when the first time you watch a movie, you only like. Gets like the sensations and the story, but you are not watching the editing and the shots and how it's made.
Right, you got to see it a few times. Watch it,
exactly. As much as you watch it, as much as you understand how you can get this effect. How I can do this, how I can do that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's an interesting way to learn the process, the filmmaking process, to tell a story with images. Mm-hmm. And I also came from the comics. Okay. I read a lot of comics, and it's very similar because you should show the panels. This panel, this other cuadritos, is very close to the movies. I'm like a very visual director, I think. Yeah. I only think in what the camera watches. If I need to show this, I don't know, this effect in the arm, we only build this, nothing more. We only think in what the camera watches, and the rest doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So what are the movies that you rewatch on a regular basis today, over and over again?
Well, today, not so much, to be honest, because today we can watch everything. We have like it's infinite amount of movies. So now I watch every night 1 or 2 movies. I watch the first movie of the night is one of the serious one, a horror or sci-fi.
Yep.
And when I drink something, I put one of the 80s ones, one Italian one, or nice. Something from Australia that they are very like savage.
Oh yeah,
they are crazy. Or the Japanese movies, like Tokyo Gore Police, and poof, I love that stuff.
That's a great one.
So I abandoned this method of watch the same movie a lot of times.
But it sounds like it served you.
Yes. But the problem today is that everybody watch so much amount of content that you forget.
Yeah, that's
the
problem.
Movies.
I use Letterboxd. Do you use letterboxd.com to track your movies? Yeah, I love it.
No. I have like a list. I make reviews to not forget. But I finally forget. I even forget the movies that I watched like 10 days ago.
Yeah, well, me too.
Because they are so similar. They are just people in a house talking. All the horror movies here now are... Oof.
I know it's becoming, it's getting just like it's all merging together. All the movies are blending together.
Exactly, and they are all looks like it belongs in the same universe.
Yeah, for sure.
All the shoots looks like the same. I don't like.
Yeah,
I like that, like the 80s or 90s, that every movie has a different style, a different personality. You watch RoboCop, and it's a completely different world, completely different everything. Or the first Tim Burton movies, or Evil Dead 2. There is
totally unique. Different. Yeah. We're not seeing a lot of that anymore. I mean, A24 will do some interesting stuff with visuals for sure here and there. But for the most part, there's very few directors I'm finding who have a very distinct visual style that you can recognize. And you'd be like, oh, that's that director, that's that director. A lot of them are looking the same. That flat, natural lighting and one house, or it's very dark. And
the camera floating, not close-ups. No. Give me everything. Give me a show.
Yeah, we need something different.
Entertain me, please.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's to your benefit, man. I mean, I think everybody's just gotten so bored with these movies that something like Pussycake comes out and it's loaded with color and so much action and it's aggressive and it's in your face and it's man, it's a really good time. No, of course.
And my idea is to continue the same path. Go more exploitation, more latex, more monsters, more... Because there is a hole to fill in the world.
Oh, yeah.
We need more of that kind of movies.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and the fact that they're all looking the same for all these filmmakers out there who have unique visions. We need you more than ever.
And they don't even think about it. I have a lot of colleagues of my same age working professionally in this kind of movies or content. And they show me the work and I say to them, but this looks exactly like everything. And they say, I didn't think about it. They just copy the trend.
Right.
They don't stop to think about this. Even the people who chooses the content for the platforms, the people who chooses the movie for Netflix or Shudder, they see the trend. Okay, let's buy this. Yeah. They don't take risks. And I don't know, it's the world of the algorithm and the world of today.
Yeah, it's very data driven. which is a shame. They look at the data, they look at what's selling, and then they make movies based on that. And like, if they did that, we never would have something. If they did that in the past, we never would have had something like Reanimator. That's completely different.
Exactly.
But I spoke to Brian Usna a long time ago, and he told me when he and Stuart Gordon were making Reanimator, they watched every horror movie from the past 2 years, and this would have been like 1987 or something. So they looked at everything, not to
85, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 85. Yeah, they looked at everything that had already came out so they could do something completely different. They didn't want to replicate it. They didn't want to look at the themes and the consistent elements and make something similar. They wanted to make sure that what they did was so completely different than everything that came out. I feel like that's what you got to do, you know, and everything has to be intentional.
They like reinvent the horror movies. Oh, yeah. They put like humor in the horror before Evil Dead 2. And I think before or that the same time that Nightmare on Elm Street. Mm-hmm. I meet Stuart Gordon in a festival a couple of years, like 5 or before he dies.
Yeah.
Yes. I ask him everything.
Oh, really?
I sit down close to him and say, okay, let's talk.
Oh, amazing.
Tell me everything. How many days, how much time every shooting day, everything. It's such a great person. I love Reanimator.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my. It's a masterpiece. It just gets better every time.
Yeah. We have to see more of Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, what people need to put him in more. Barbara Crampton is showing up in everything nowadays. We need Jeffrey Combs back.
Yeah. Exactly. Barbara Crampton is like revigorates his career, but Jeffrey Combs not so much. You have Bruce Campbell; it becomes like an icon. And what about Jeffrey Combs?
Put him in your next movie, man. Fly him out to Argentina. Get him to teach him some Spanish, and let's go. I bet he would do it. I bet if he saw Pussycake, he would totally do it because I'm sure it'll remind him of the glory days.
It's very difficult for us to pay for an actor from there because we do it the movies with not so much money.
Yeah.
And the least you can pay to an actor for us is like almost impossible.
Oh, really?
I sent an email to Bruce Campbell like 20 years ago when the internet came. You can send a mail directly to Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
And he replies that he has to read the script, like the script, and get fully paid. This was at the time of Briscoe County Jr.
Oh, wow. Were you trying to get him in your movie?
Yeah. But it was impossible.
Yeah, it's hey, man, you were taking a swing, though. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Well, Pablo, this was a whole lot of fun, man. Thank you for taking the time. And the movie's fantastic. It's on Screambox now. Oh, let's talk about Screambox, by the way. How did they get involved? Because they're a really cool, exciting new channel owned and operated, I believe, by Bloody Disgusting. And they put Pussycake out. They're putting out Terrifier 2. They're doing a lot of exciting stuff. So how did they enter the picture?
Well, when with Pussycake, we first go to the serious one. We knock the door of Netflix, and they all say no. It's too cult. It's too not for us. And I almost get depressed because when we show the movie in Argentina, we have like a great reaction of the audience. So I was happy, and when I start showing the movie to the platforms, they say, "Oh no." I say, "What is going on?" And I remember all the movies I watch at night. I remember Raven Banner logo, and I think, okay, these guys distribute this kind of stuff.
Yep.
I look for them in Google. I Google Raven Banner. I write a mail to them. I say to them, listen, guys, I watch all your movies. I really like them. We make this one. Maybe you like it. They like it. They reply. And now they are like managing all of the distribution.
Oh, wow.
I think they sell the rights to Cinedigm in US. It's another distribution company, I think. And then Cinedigm goes with Screambox. So it's like a lot of steps between us and Screambox. So I don't really know.
Got it.
We don't have a lot of information.
Oh, okay.
We have to Google every day to see if there is a news of the movie. It's very strange for us, but it's the way of the world.
Yeah, I hear you.
but Raven Banner, they are doing like an amazing show. They are showing the movie in all the world. Like, we are grateful with them.
That's great.
And in Argentina, we didn't have a Screambox. We didn't have Shudder either.
Oh, wow.
No. We only have like Disney Plus and Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So here in Argentina, it's impossible to watch the movie.
Oh, man. That's a shame. But you're showing it. It sounds like you're showing it to people. You know,
yes. We make projections. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, cool. Well, Pablo, this was so much fun, man. Thank you again, and congrats on the movie. It's so much fun. I enjoy the hell out of it, and I think we need more movies like this that are just fun and exciting, and you just feel the passion, you know, of the director behind it. So, yeah, bravo, dude. This was so much fun.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Any before we wrap up, any parting advice for those aspiring filmmakers out there?
Let's keep shooting. Shoot every single weekend, like the Robert Rodriguez says something like that.
Yep.
Shoot, show it to the people, watch the reaction, keep shooting, no excuses.
Yeah.
First you put the schedule, the date. We shoot this day. Then you see everything else. Because there is always a good excuse to not do the things.
Yeah.
And to keep watching YouTube to enjoy the life. But make movies is like the same of I don't know. It's the same pain of living. Make a movie, it's problems and solving problems, and it's the same of the day-to-day living.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this problem, I have this other problem. But when you make a movie, at the end, you have a movie.
Yeah.
And in the real life, no.
Right.
You like this, you suffer the same, but you don't have like something for the, I don't know.
Something for your effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's better doing movies.
Yeah.
Or it's the same pain of every day of the real life. But
right. But you deliver something, but something comes out, you know?
Yeah.
Something worthwhile.
Exactly.
Well, that is great to keep in mind. Pablo, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. All right. Here, as always, are some key takeaways from this conversation with Pablo. Number 1, think infrastructure. Pablo has a group of people who he's been making movies with for years. Most of them do tons of different jobs, but they have similar tastes and the same mission. So every time they're ready to make a movie, they can lock and load and get it made because they not only have a shorthand working relationship with each other, but they have an infrastructure. Also, every time they sell one movie, they use those funds to make the next movie. This is like a self-sustaining, self-feeding ecosystem that ultimately allows Pablo and his team to do whatever they want. Now, it took them a long time to create this, but it's never too late to start nourishing your own network and your own filmmaking collective, and ultimately your own infrastructure for getting your movies made. Regardless, it is important to build relationships with people who want to make the same kind of crazy shit that you do. Number 2, lean into limitations. On Pablo's previous movie, I Am Toxic, he couldn't afford contact lenses for his zombies' eyes, so he created a type of zombie that was so dry that they didn't have eyes because their eyeballs dried out. This gave them a very cool aesthetic that was comparable to Lucio Fulci's Zombie, and is the approach he took throughout the movie, which allowed him to make a post-apocalyptic wasteland on an extremely low budget. This is an example of a filmmaker working with his budget as opposed to against it. When you work with your budget in this regard, your movie feels a lot more cohesive, intentional, and you can get away with so much more to serve your production value. Number 3, make everything intentional. Pablo said that he notices a lot of monotony in newer horror movies that look the same and have the same tone, which I noticed also. He went on to say that a lot of filmmakers don't even think about distinguishing the look and feel of their films, which is causing these movies to become homogenized and all feel very, very similar. As a director, every choice you make in a movie should have an intention behind it. Nothing should be happenstance. Now, don't get too precious and don't be a dictator, but realize that your job as a director is to direct every single last detail. Jordan Peele does an exquisite job of this, as did Stanley Kubrick. Clearly, these are huge directors. But if you look at Pablo's work on Pussycake, he was able to do so much on a low budget, and his movie, his characters, and their costumes all had an iconic feel to them because he labored over each detail and made them his own. Anyway, guys, thank you as always for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, why not share it with your friends and family on social media? Don't forget to follow the show on Instagram at I'm Nick Taylor. That's I am Nick Taylor. And if you want to know every time I drop a new episode, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? Thanks as always for listening to the Nick Taylor Horror Show.